The government is today submitting to the House a plan which is conditional and dependent, as always, on the common sense and observance of the British people and on continual reassessment of the data. That picture varies across the regions and home nations of the United Kingdom, requiring a flexible response. Different parts of the UK may need to stay in full lockdown longer, but any divergence should only be short-term. At this stage, we can go no further than to announce the first careful modification of our measures. Step one in moving towards COVID alert level 3, a shift in emphasis that we can begin this week. Anyone who cannot work from home should be actively encouraged to go to work, and sectors that are allowed to be open should indeed be open, but subject to social distancing. These include food production, construction, manufacturing, logistics, distribution, scientific research. And we want everyone travelling to work to be safe, so people should continue to avoid public transport wherever possible, because we must maintain social distancing, which will inevitably limit capacity. Instead, people should drive, or better still, walk or cycle. With more activity outside our homes, we would now advise people to wear a cloth face covering in enclosed spaces where social distancing is not always possible, and you're more likely to come in contact with people you don't normally meet. So from Wednesday, there will be no limits on the frequency of outdoor exercise people can take. You can now walk, sit and rest in parks, you can play sports and exercise, and you can do all these things with members of your household, your own household, or with one other person from another household, provided you observe social distancing and remain 2 meters apart. And I do hope that's clear. You can drive as far as you like to reach an outdoor space subject to the same rules and the laws and guidance of the devolved administrations. We shall introduce new restrictions at the UK border, requiring 14 days of self-isolation for international arrivals, while respecting our common travel area with Ireland. Every day, we shall monitor our progress, and if we stay on the downward slope and the R remains below 1, then and only then will it become safe to go further and move to the second step. This will not happen until the 1st of June at the earliest, but we may then be in a position to start the phased reopening of shops, to return children to early years settings, including nurseries and childminders, to return primary schools to school in stages, giving priority to the youngest children in reception and year 1, and those in year 6 preparing for secondary school, and to enable secondary school pupils facing exams next year to get at least some time with their teachers. Step 2 could also include allowing cultural and sporting events behind closed doors for broadcasts, which I think would provide a much needed boost to national morale. But nothing can substitute, Mr. Speaker, for human contact, and so the government has asked Sage when and how we could safely allow people to expand their household group to include one other household on a strictly reciprocal basis. We may be able to move to step 3 if and only if supported by the data and the best scientific advice. We would then aim to reopen some remaining businesses, including potentially hospitality, cinemas and hairdressers, as well as places of worship and leisure facilities. If the data goes the wrong way, if the alert level begins to rise, we will have no hesitation in putting on the brakes, delaying or reintroducing measures locally, regionally or nationally.